I was raised living in the past. My earliest memories are of cemeteries. My family would take me to them on days like Memorial Day, and we would visit the graves of my ancestors. I didn't know them, though, and they didn't know me. As I grew older, my dad began compiling the information on my family, going back hundreds of years. No one had ever done this before. No one had compiled it into one place. Tales of my family before had only been passed down orally. I could put a face to the headstone in the cemetery. I looked at the pictures mostly. They fascinated me. These people were all related to me. They had all come before me, but their presence was only two-dimensional. It was black and white on paper. They didn't exist to me in the present. As the years went by, I felt the connection fading between myself and my ancestors. I could only look at them and they looked at me, and they weren't here. This is my grandfather. As a child, I would always hear his stories about being in the Second World War. I was fascinated by his tales of sailing across the Pacific from Australia to Burma and China and India. I can still hear him tell the tale of throwing dynamite in a river in Burma and catching fish that were tall as a man. Or the time he was being led down a trail in a jungle, and the guide leading him down the trail was blown up by a landmine. It was the greatest adventure of his life, and I could hear it in his voice every time he talked about it. He passed away in 2010, and when he died, I felt another lost connection to the past. I couldn't hear him tell his stories anymore. But in the years that followed, my dad began to rebuild that connection to the past, and not only collected and displayed the objects my grandfather brought home after the war, he also began displaying the artifacts of my other ancestors. My great-grandfather's baseball bat from the early 1900s, my other great-grandfather's tools he would use on his farm, cameras, pictures, shaving mugs, shaving kits, the list went on and on. No longer was my past relegated to words and pictures, it was here with me, in the present. These are my brothers, Andrew and Luke, and though they are young, they are learning about this past and the implications it holds on them in the present. They pass by these objects every day. They can see what their ancestors saw, and now the past isn't so distant for them or for me, and it isn't fading. It's growing stronger with every day. It's real, and it's living.